Yo, what is up, my gamers in Christ? How are we doing today? Today is the date of February 22nd of 2026. It is a beautiful day out here in sunny Kansas. How are we doing today, guys? I hope we're doing well. I hope we are doing well today. We have a decent amount to go over today, not too much. It's a pretty light week in terms of news, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just gonna be frank like the hot dogs with you. Not too much going on in newsland. Obviously, we have the fallout from the Epstein files, but besides that, there's really not much going on. We do have the Supreme Court decision to strike down the tariffs, and Trump is pretty upset about that. What have we done to our children? Asked Sargon of Akkad. Well, I don't really care. You know, it's so sad seeing all the right-wing grifter headlines. They're so gross. Well, anyways, I'm just looking on YouTube, see if I can find anything we're missing out on. I'm gonna share my link here in a second too. So let me get that. Open up the MAGA Cope line while we're doing it. Anyways, sorry for not streaming yesterday. I had some things come up and I just was not able to stream. Anyways, sorry, I'm just letting people know that I'm live. That's important. You gotta let the people know you're live. Because if you don't, who will? Who will? I don't have a Rootsy, unfortunately, that can just always post when I'm live. Shout out to Rootsy. We'll be talking to her tomorrow on the Rage and Resist podcast. That's a podcast I do every week with my friend Rootsy and my good friend Mina. They're both good friends, but I needed some sort of distinctor to separate the two. Anyways, yes, I am okay with sending it to 200 people. Anyways, I'm actually pretty excited for, you know, when I take a day off of streaming, I'm super excited to get back into it. By the way, if you guys are new to the stream, make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there. I do a show basically every day, where I talk about the news and politics and so much more. So if that interests you, you should smash that like and subscribe button. We're fighting the waves of MAGA one at a time every day until our democracy is safe and sound. Like that song, you know? You guys know what I'm talking about. Safe and sound. Wah, wow, wah, 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 wow. I think something that would be fun to start off the stream is the Christian Agartha remix. Unfortunately, when I played it last, I had some anti-Semites in here. And they were being how anti-Semites typically are, so I just wasn't able to fully enjoy it, but now that I am back, I think it'd be fun to play. And it's a parody. Truthfully, I just want to listen to Katy Perry's... the song that Chris Chan is singing in that parody, but I can't listen to that, or else I'd get copyright claimed. So that's the next best thing, I'd say. Anyways, in other news, I've been playing this game, Conquest of Elysium. Holy shit, that game is fun. I like 4X games, and it just hits that niche almost perfectly. Let me get Morrowind loaded up here. I don't think we're close to beating Morrowind, not by a long shot. So you guys may have to wait a while to see Conquest of Elysium. Anyways, sorry, I'm just getting some prerequisites set up. Let's check if we got anything going on here. Oh, by the way, I do have a Ko-Fi link if you guys feel like donating. Let me actually pin that. That's probably a more important thing to pin than my reminder to like and subscribe. Let me get my dono link out here. Alright. Here soon, we will be having a goal for a new computer. Because we need a new one, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the Lenovo laptop can only go so far. Here we go. Get our Ko-Fi link. Should be the little tag. Yo, gamers, consider Alright, there we go. Now we got a Ko-Fi link. We're real streamers now, ladies and gentlemen. We're real streamers now. We have a donation link. Oh man, how long ago did you start? I just woke up. Oh, I just started, Bill. I just started, so luckily we are vibing, and we're still setting up here, so you did not miss a thing. Good to see you, Bill. But yes, here soon we will be trying to I don't have text-to-speech or anything set up quite yet, but once I get that set up, you guys will be able to send messages, compliment me on my broadcasting prowess. I mean, the limits, there's really no limit to what you're going to be able to do. And then once I hit 500 subs, guys, you guys are not ready. It's going to be a complete, not a rework, but it's going to be more refined. I'm going to have specific days which I do shows. Like Monday will be a debate review day or something like that. And so that should help me with scheduling and things like that. And also, I think my tests went mostly well. Hey, that's great to hear. I was actually going to ask about that, so hell yeah, man, that's great to hear. I think you kicked ass. I've got a good feeling about it. I've got a very good feeling about it. Anyways, we're gonna play a little bit of Morrowind, and then we'll get started on the news and politics. See if any MAGA will call in. The one thing I do like about Stream Elements, I like Ko-Fi way more, but the one thing I do like about Stream Elements is they do have that little bot that'll be like, hey, dipshit. In case you were wondering, you can like and subscribe. Not saying you're the dipshit. I finished the reading portion 20 minutes early again, and I just kept check. Sadly for writing, they gave me a... such a shitty keyboard. I'm sorry about that, man. Having to retype everything. Oh, now you know how it is to exist as I do. But that's just from having bad typing abilities. Alright, so I got this homeless dude following me, and I gotta be frank, I'm not feeling him. Like, I would much rather he just die, so... Let's see what his quest is. Alright, alright. The Invisible Sun? Well, I don't think that's what we needed to find. Not at all. Why did my music stop? I hate when it does this. It'll just randomly stop playing the music sometime. Yes, I am still watching, okay? Okay, YouTube? I'm still watching! Hold on, do I not even have a quest associated with this man? I mean, to be quite honest, I could just kind of murk him. I probably wouldn't be good. That's not what a good guy would do, though. And I am a good guy, ladies and gentlemen. I recommend keyboard.com to practice 5-10 minutes every day. Great help. Yeah, I should probably do that. Could be a fun... excuse me. Could be a fun, like, intro thing. But right now I gotta find whoever cursed this man. And, it's not going well. I am not able to find who the frick cursed this man. You know, I've been thinking, should I fully embrace the meme? No, I'm not. I'm never gonna do a VR model, but I think it would be funny. Change the font to dyslexic. Hey, I haven't been diagnosed with dyslexia, okay? I haven't been diagnosed with it yet. Is that something you can get diagnosed with, though? Might just be, a you problem. I don't know. Okay, this has to be where he got cursed, right? Where did you get cursed, bro? Alright, yeah, Cloud Cleaver. Oh. I didn't mean to hit you, man. Sorry about that. Me neither, but the font is pretty helpful for that. Oh, okay, bet. Got you. I may have it, though. I'm not gonna lie. Kinda does feel like I have developed it. Gotten way less, my ability to, interpret words has gone down. Unfortunate. I don't know what the reason for that is. Maybe I should do some, psychedelic mushrooms. I hear that's good at reinvigorating the senses. I used to do shroomies back in my younger days. But life is already pretty sick, so why would I need anything to enhance it? Okay, this is where I came from. I wandered down this way a little bit. Oh, what's this? There's a man who doesn't have, yeah, he was right there. He was right there. This is where I found you, right, man? Yeah, I think we might be lost. Unfortunately, I think we might be a little lost. I could kill him. Seems a bit chilly today. Well, I would say that's probably because you don't have any clothes on, my friend. Okay, where did he go? Where did the festering witch go? Yeah, we must find it before she can do all that again. I get that, but where is she? There's just hordes of bodies of rats that we're collecting here. Dyslexia is just a learning disability? I didn't know that. I thought it was much more just how quickly your brain processed like certain words and stuff like that. Well, hey, you learn something new every day. There she is. This is the woman. This is the woman. No, that's a man. God damn it, dude. Who the hell are you? Interested in making a deal? Yeah, I can take you. Join the party, friend. There we go. Now we got 2 people following us. Great. All right, you need to go to Molag Mar. You need to go to Molag Mar. Okay. Gaming day today? No, it'll be some news. I just I haven't played Morrowind in a minute. Just commentating a little bit. I'll be getting started with the news here in about, probably now. But I need to find... We're gonna resave. That's too much stuff. Too much stuff going on. We like to do that on occasion out here. You know, I've been thinking, the reason I probably haven't advanced very far in Morrowind yet is probably because of things like this. That's okay. It's strategic, okay? I don't know if I told you guys, by the way, but I'm trying to quit vaping. I am, I want to preserve my lungs, you know? Especially if I want to keep doing this. And so I'm trying to quit vaping. It has been a struggle. I had to replace it with these Velo and Zen things, which I'm sure are just as addictive, if not more. But at the very least, they're not destroying my throat. Or not my throat, they're not destroying my lungs. But taking a look at all the news stories I have here today, it's not much. Honestly, I might go on the AP and see if we got anything going on there, because it is. Whoa, what? Oh no, I had my top chat on. Also, homeless person following me. I think I'm going to very Republican today, huh? Oh, okay, my bad, yes. Yes, unfortunately, we are feeling very Republican today as we slaughter homeless people. Hey, I'm just saying, I don't know who this homeless guy is that doesn't have clothes on. All I know is that he said he has a cleaver and he wants to kill for it. So that's all I know. Oh, armed man shot and killed after entering secure perimeter of Maralago, security service says. Oh, well, that is indeed interesting. All right, let's get started with the main show. I've been memeing with you guys long enough, okay? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there in the algorithm. We're waiting for a Trump dump, which we know will come at any point. I'm interested to see if the, once I get text-to-speech on, how many MAGA will donate to the Ko-Fi link. I think it will be a very wide margin, actually. Anyways, this is just now. I'm actually going to change the title. Breaking. We're going to change the title here. Breaking. Trump gunman Pewpewed at Maralago. There we go. Yesterday, Spider came into Kalinda's chat and started spamming random headlines. Yeah, sounds like Spider. If you guys aren't following Spider, go follow Irrelevant Clips and Loner Unboxed. He's a good channel. Go check him out. Cool guy, too. Well, anyways, armed man shot and killed after entering a secure perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, Secret Service says. Let's take a look at this. This is by Curtis Yee, edited by. An armed man drove into the secure perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, President Donald Trump's resort, in Palm Beach, Florida, as another vehicle was exiting before being shot and killed early Sunday morning, according to a spokesman of the U.S. Secret Service. The man, who was in his early 20s from North Carolina, had a gas can and a shotgun, according to Anthony Guglielmini. Guglielmelli? Armed doesn't mean anything after pretty. Yeah, very true. Yeah, he could have literally had he could have had a Roman candle and they would have called him armed. Although, I won't lie, this does look kind of a little bit different. A lot of bit different. Anyways, the spokesman, according to Anthony Guglielmelli, Guglielmelli? Guglielmi. I don't know. The spokesman. He had been reported missing by his family a few days ago, and investigators believed he headed south and picked up the shotgun on the way. The man killed was identified by investigators as 21-year-old Austin Tucker Martin. According to a person familiar with the matter, the person spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to publicly discuss details of the investigation. This is what I'm talking about. This administration is so leaky, dude. I do not trust my national security with these fucking idiots. What to know? The president and the first lady, Melania Trump, were at the White House when the breach at Maralago occurred. The U.S. has been rocked multiple times by political violence. In just the past year, conservative activist Charlie Kirk was assassinated, as was the Democratic leader in the Minnesota State House, and her husband, another Minnesota lawmaker, and his wife were shot, and there was an arson attack at Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro's home. Wow, this is interesting. Well, I guess we'll keep live updates on that, but we've got some BTC to watch, some Brian Tyler Cohen. Speaking of alien updates, never mind. Leaks more than the president when he's trying to actually pee. I'd say it even leaks more than the president when he's actually trying not to pee. Anyways, we got some BTC talking about the Supreme Court and aliens. Let's go.
Hey, Brian, what's going on?
So we just had a pretty off-the-walls emergency press conference that was called by Trump, where instead of accepting the reality that the Supreme Court offered, which was that Trump doesn't have the authority to impose these tariffs, that Congress does.
Wasn't this embarrassing? The president of the United States said, no, I'm not going to listen to the law. And he said, let's do global tariffs. Dude, what do you think that the precedent is that they are trying to set? Do you think it's, oh yeah, we want unilateral trade power for the president? Such idiots. I was about to recommend this, not which parts are jokes. Not sure which parts are jokes. Oh, I see.
He instead decided to double down and say that he was going to impose another 10% global tariffs using a separate authority. So first question right off the bat, does he have the authority to impose this new round of 10% global tariffs?
Well, obviously, every
King
time
Trump says Jim Bob Jones. Oh, we got the dump, ladies and gentlemen. You're such a dumbass. Funny how it's okay to wake up to a Secret Service agent carrying a shotgun and a gas can. Did I say this was okay, bud? Obviously, it's horrible. Jesus Christ, man. You know, assumptions make an ass out of you and me, my friend. Assumptions make an ass out of you and me, okay? I got taught that when I was 5 years old. Words to live by, bud. Words to live by. King Trump. Love that.
comes up with an idea or some authority, it winds up getting litigated. But in this instance, he's saying he's going to use Section 122, which would give him power to do it for 150 days, which comes around if he signs it today, July 20th. And then he'd have to go to Congress to extend it beyond that for his global 10%. But obviously, this is a big loss for the president. He seems to be taking it well, Brian. I don't know if you've seen him
if there's
today,
one thing I got from that press conference, it was that he's taking it well.
He's really great at handling bad news, right? He's always excelled in that. That when he gets bad news, he seems to really handle it well. He doesn't blame anyone or shout out anything, right? He doesn't call people names. He really just internalizes
There's
it,
a
keeps it
difference
inside.
between assumption and straw manning. My friend. Yeah, that is a straw man. You're right. I agree. He was straw manning. Funny how you said it could have been a Roman candle, dumbass. No, I was joking that this administration is so gung-ho about labeling people domestic terrorists that it could have been that. Was I saying that it was that? No. Yeah, how would that make your first assumption valid, you know? Anyways.
Doesn't really tell us how he's feeling, but it's a
Good to
big
see
loss,
you, by the
obviously.
way, gamers. Hope you guys are having a good day.
For him, 6-3 at the Supreme Court. But in the plain reading of the text, it was obvious that this taxing authority, tariff authority, rested with Congress. That's right, Speaker Johnson. That's right, Mike. Even though you have been obviously weakening our Article 1 authority, you know, at the end of the day, you're actually going to have to do your job. You're actually Speaker of the House. There's actually a legislative branch, and this is our function. As you can see, Brian, I'm here live in front of the Supreme Court.
Reporting live, yes. So one thing that I thought was particularly funny about all of this was...
No, I'm a gamer. Get it right. I'm not an idiot.
Obviously, these tariffs are super unpopular, and not to mention unconstitutional, but they're unpopular. And so the Supreme Court effectively handed Trump a massive gift, like just a gift-wrapped prize.
I've been saying this, like, the tariffs are one of the number one things Donald Trump can do to ensure that the Democrats win these midterms. And look, he's crying about it, and he put up more tariffs.
These Republicans who didn't want to speak out against these tariffs because they didn't want to be on the receiving end of Trump's ire, but at the same time they don't want to have to go home to their districts in an election year and have to explain to people why a trade war is somehow a good thing, even though it's racist.
Yeah.
So he gave them, the Supreme Court.
Man, haven't seen Mr. Mayhem in a while. Yeah, I know. Where'd Mr. Mayhem go? I missed that guy. That's all right. The etherverse of YouTube Shorts is wide and varied, so I won't lie. I was watching some YouTube Shorts lives at work yesterday, and I was dumbfounded. I mean, I understand that my content doesn't have 1,000 different moving things, but I don't know. I think I'm working on something special out here. Because if you compare it to my compatriots, I mean, I'm not going to say anything too rude, but it did inspire me. I think I'm going to have a Roblox cam or something. No, that's for children. But, yeah, it was kind of concerning to see what was on YouTube Live Shorts. And so if I'm fighting against that, it's a worthy fight. I've got a little bit of brain rot adjacent things though. You know, I got the loser cam. I got a good amount.
5 minutes before Trump said, no, I'm going to go out and figure out some other way to impose these tariffs. And so what do you presume is the consensus among your Republican colleagues?
Trump is the GOAT!
Out here before Trump
the left only attacks his character because they will lose every argument on his policies. Oh, kind of like how Donald Trump lost to the Supreme Court on his policies. The ogre thing. Oh, yeah, bro. That dude was horrifying. He gets a lot of views, too. That shit was... I mean, if you want to see something that will just make you lose hope in humanity, watch that. It's like a Where's Waldo of more fucked up shit. It's like, oh, you initially see it. I love Trump's policy of ignoring the courts and protecting pedos. You know, you and a lot of MAGA, it seems like. Poor Bud. I feel bad for Bud. Fighting against the waves.
chaos,
He's fighting
more
against
uncertainty.
the ocean.
You know,
Think about
that's
that.
what this looks like. Obviously, we don't know anything about refunds. Are these small businesses going to get any refunds? I mean, look, it raised the cost of goods on the American people.
Yeah.
Right. Toys, food. Okay. You know, anything you would buy.
Oh, for the debate reviews, I did want. This might be a show for tomorrow. I did want to review Pisco, and there was this one, I can't remember his name, but he debated this one dude on Jeffrey Epstein's criminality. I shit you not.
That was not made here. Sneakers, all sorts of clothing. It raised the prices on the American people, period. So, you know, even if one was saying, well, look, we need inflation to go down, you know, even as maybe some inflation is easing, it didn't matter because with the tariffs coming in place, it not only didn't ease inflation, it made the situation worse. And that's why Americans feel that things are just so unaffordable. So yes.
Yeah, and this is something the Trump administration wants to run on, but they're not able to deliver the goods. It's hard listening to Dems, such idiots. Well, Divine, I don't think that's true because I see you here pretty often, so I think you're one of my number one fans, and that's okay. You can admit that you're a fan of mine, man. We've got plenty of them. Okay? By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe.
But Donald Trump doesn't want it out. He wants to double, triple, quadruple down on this. And so, by the way, why not bring it
poor Republicans. They just want to keep talking about trans issues and obsessing over people's body parts. I think that's like there are obviously way more issues to address than trans women or trans men. But they want to talk about men and women's sports as if that is a problem that is truly affecting the nation. Not me. I'm not a fan of your communist liberal ass. Psh, amen, Bill. Who could be? Who could be?
Congress, the Supreme Court says.
I saw Not So Erudite debated.
Why not bring it to Congress? I mean, I know how I'm going to vote, but
Andrew
let's see how my
Wilson.
Republican colleagues vote. If he thinks, and he said this, there's great unity amongst the Republicans, well, then bring it to Congress and let us vote on it. That's what the Supreme Court is saying to you, Mr. President. They're not saying you can't do it. They're saying it has to go to Congress, and then you can do it. But you don't want to recognize that there is a co-equal branch, because remember, they have a massive mandate. Remember, we were told that we have a massive mandate. Well, if he has a mandate, why can't he bring it to Congress, Brian?
Well, and the reality is, like, if he wanted Mike Johnson to bring it up for a vote, Mike Johnson would do it. Like, Mike Johnson has proven that he is perfectly content to prostrate himself for Donald Trump. And so if he says bring this in front of the House, Mike Johnson's not going to stand in his way. He'd be perfectly content to do it.
Yeah, listen, hope it happens. It dies on the floor that day.
Yeah. Last point on the Supreme Court. What did you make of the fact that he used so much of his time?
It's weird how MAGA still tries to do the kid arguments while protecting pedos. I know. It's so ironic, isn't it? How they stood on their soapbox every day. We're protecting children. This is for the children. And now that it comes out that their dude may have been downloading PDF files. Oh, you know, the Jeffrey Epstein files don't matter, guys. It doesn't matter. It's all fake. It's all woke. Woke news! I'm sick of the wokes! I just used to think Jared just said that Trump is doing this to undermine Congress. No, I don't think so.
Rail against these Supreme Court justices. This is a Supreme Court, by the way, that has ruled In deference to him that he can commit criminal acts with impunity, they ruled that Section 3 of the 14th Amendment doesn't apply to him, even though he incited an insurrection and gave aid or comfort to those who incited an insurrection, which should have prevented him from being able to run for office again. The Supreme Court has bent over backwards for him for years, only for them, in this one narrow instance, to not show complete slavish devotion to the guy, and he has a whole
Well, to
press
be
conference.
fair to the SCOTUS, which, who knows if I should be, there have been some decisions that don't 100% align with Trump's agenda, but by large, yes, they have mostly conceded to almost all power grabs. It's pretty ridiculous.
Conference about how they're not patriotic Americans anymore.
What have you done for me lately, Brian? You may have given me
Yeah.
immunity, but you took away my tariff authority. No,
Right.
I'm completely surprised that the president attacked them personally. So out of character for him. It's a first. It's a
Right.
total first.
Who would have
for-
guessed?
For the president to go
Trump? No.
attack them. I mean, at least he didn't call any of them piggy.
Yeah, or a coffee boy, low-level volunteer, just met them recently. I mean, this is like Trump's whole orbit is basically like a trail of broken relationships, broken promises, and one-way street loyalty, whether it's from Michael Cohen, Gordon Sondland, George Papadopoulos, Rex Tillerson.
I do think you have a point there, Bill. Now I'm thinking he might not actually have the votes and doesn't want to show how weak his coalition is. Yeah. Right on the money with that one, dude.
Kayleigh McEnany, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I mean, the parade of people who have lost
Rex
their lives.
Tillerson,
Yeah.
Rex Tillerson, dumb as rocks. He's dumb as rocks.
Dumb as rocks. The parade of people who have lost their livelihood, their law licenses, their dignity, all in blind deference to Trump, only for him to throw them under the bus. The moment they lose their usefulness is, it's never ending. I think is what we're learning. But I want to actually switch gears now, and I know that you wanted to head away.
Liberal
from the Supreme Court now
TDS show. Fuck, you know it, man. I have nothing but Trump derangement syndrome. It's bad. Do you know any witch doctors that might be able to heal me up? All right, you know what, man? Oh, you're not going to be able to just chill here? Well, I guess I'll go until he dies. You think I'm, I don't really care about this guy.
a different venue, if I'm not mistaken.
Brian, breaking news.
I have Barack Obama on my show.
Wait.
Let me throw one out. Let me just see how he reacts. Hey, so what about aliens? Yeah, they're real. They're just not at that location. Everyone's like, oh my God. What did he just say? And then Donald Trump's like, well, he just revealed classified information. I guess I'll have to declassify it to help out my friend Barack Obama. I mean, you brought Barack Obama and Donald Trump together.
Dude, Donald Trump and Barack Obama have this weird friendship that I think is so strange. I'm gonna be honest. I don't get it. But they do. They have this weird friendship that's like, I don't get it. But like anytime Obama's brought up, Trump will be like, at first he was, recently, in the past, he'd be like, oh, fucking Obama, blah, 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 blah. But now he's like, they're playing off each other's jokes and stuff. Like, that alien joke was obviously meant to be like, oh, he's not supposed to, just joshing around. I don't get it, dude. But they seem to have like a really, I don't know if close is a good word, but they seem amicable. Do you think MAGA will be anti-mask? Excuse me. If TDS is contagious, well, at this point it's a coin flip because they've been pro-mask when it comes to federal agents who kill our citizens in the street. However, they've been anti-mask when it comes to protecting the public. So, I think whichever one is more destructive to society, they'll choose.
Together on behalf of the American people, so we can find out about aliens. Brian, what have you done?
I don't know. I don't know.
These are my friends. These are my friends, by the way.
There was a moment yesterday where prior to the announcement from Trump saying that he was going to declassify any information related to aliens, UFOs, UAPs, where it was just focused on Barack Obama declassifying information. And I was actually with my friends at Pod Save America, who obviously all worked for Barack Obama, and I was like, am I going to be responsible for Barack Obama being the next target of Trump's prosecution attempt? Because I decided in minute 44 of a 47-minute interview to ask a speed round question about aliens.
No, don't worry. Trump has said shit about aliens himself. I think we probably... I don't know if there's any evidence of aliens, but we're definitely not alone, dude. Are you joking? The infinite cosmos. What in the likelihood that we are alone is very slim. Now, whether that's intelligent life or whether it's just like a rock that gains sentience, we may not find out. But I do think there's life out there in the stars. Honestly, I saw a really interesting mission that I believe NASA will be doing where they're sending a submarine, essentially. I killed Vivek early game with just my fist one time using a ring you can steal from the first shop you stop by. God damn. God damn. Slaughtered that man. You know, the bad thing about me being when I play RPG games, I'm a good guy. I'll be honest, guys. I know it's just hard for me to be a bad guy. Okay? It's hard for me to be a bad guy. Was Vivek right all along is the real question. I think he was. Vivek's, like, the information and the lore in Morrowind about the tribunal gods is so crazy. It's so insane. Anyways.
But now, apparently, Trump couldn't handle the fact that, you know, Barack Obama was getting all the attention, so he had to glom on and say, actually, I'm going to be the hero as far as aliens are concerned. Look, it's worth asking you here, do you buy this idea that he's going to declassify any of this?
No, they're obviously both memeing. They're obviously both memeing. You seriously telling me you believe the force holding tiny atoms together is the same force used to make nuclear bombs? Get real. Nuclear booms, my bad. Very, you know, that is hard to get around, but that's what we know right now. Now, I do think we are missing some things in our science. I'm not sure what we're missing. It just feels like there's, you know, when fields can't unify, we're obviously missing something. And we don't quite know what happens, like the quantum level, where we're still not very intelligent on what happens on those levels. And we still don't have a unified field theory, so...
stuff, or is this just some example of, ooh, this is a shiny thing that can help distract from the Epstein files?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Pope to come out and condemn your actions. You know, look, I obviously have been involved with this. I've been involved with...
After that one lawsuit, it seems as long as I say God did it, I should get an A. True. Life on Earth is hell for those of us that kick the apple. I eat the apple. I eat the apple. Okay.
The UAP task force that we set up in Congress. I've been part of a number of hearings that we did in oversight. And look, I do believe that the American government is lying to the American people about
Okay, I kind of love the aliens. I'm kind of funny.
these UAPs. And we're not getting the information that I think they have. I do think there's a lot more that they're not telling us. I think that Arrow, which was set up, has information that they're not sharing with the American people, and this is why it's so bipartisan. You got people like me and Tim Burchett and Luna. You have Chuck Schumer involved in this. You had Harry Reid involved with this before. Marco Rubio, who's the Secretary of State, obviously is involved with this. How far it goes, how much do we know? That's
This part I'm confused by. I mean, I know he seems like he's memeing, but I don't think he's memeing. I do think there's some weird stuff, guys. Like, there are so many weird incidents that have been reported about. I don't know. We may... He's actually on the UAP committee? Well, if he is, that's fucking sick. I mean, yeah, he just said it, didn't he?
But I do think the president could declassify a lot of documents. I think he could clear up a lot of stuff. Will he do it? I don't know.
Listen, I think things like Project Blue Book and all the committees, the U.S. government, there's obviously something. Now, whether that something that America has not been able to understand. Now, whether that be like Russian spy planes or something, that's up to looking at the facts. But there's definitely weird stuff that has happened in the world that is unexplainable. That has to do with aliens. I just don't see why aliens would fuck with us if they have deep space travel. You see, that's what a normie would say, my friend. Let me enlighten you on the Lemurian lore, okay? Here, I actually have a briefer that might update you on everything. Here. You might let me know if this helps at all. This is parody, by the way, so YouTube, I am allowed to play this.
I dive into frozen waves where the past comes back to life. Fight fear for the selfish pain, it was worth it every time. Hold still right before we crash, cause we both know how to sin. A clock ticks and it breaks your west, and I drown in you again. Cause you are the piece of
One of my finest creations.
I wish I didn't leave, chasing relentlessly, still fighting, I don't know why. In all this tragedy, why are you the remedy? In all this insanity, why are you the remedy?
All right, so I hope that kind of cleared up for you guys what yeah, it all makes sense now. Thank you. Well, I'm glad I could clear it up for you guys. We do need to have a real conspiracy episode where I go over, or a conspiracy series where we go over crazy ass conspiracies. Because I love conspiracies, dude. They're my favorite. Most of them are absolute bullshit. Was hoping Yak-chan was about to kiss. We were all waiting for bated breath, you know what I mean? About to kiss, oh dude, what's that? What's the name of the Oh, I'm sure I'll think about it. I'm sure I'll think of it here soon. Yakub?
We'll have to see. It'll be interesting that these are the files that come to us unredacted.
Right.
At the end of the day, this will be the files to be like, yeah, I can't release the Epstein people, but you know what? Have aliens. Take that.
Right.
Hold on, I just got my result. Let me get my mother. Oh, congratulations. That's a good sign.
Okay, so I got to ask, is there evidence as far as the government is concerned from what you've had insight into that UFOs and UAPs exist?
Yeah.
By the way, if you guys
plenty
are
of
enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there.
video evidence. There's plenty of documentary evidence. The real question is,
Let me check my phone line, see if we've got anybody calling in. Unfortunately, MAGA is they are quite cowardly, so I don't believe we will as of right now. But that's all right. That's all right.
are they ours? Are they adversaries? Are they private?
Here's my conspiracy. Most conspiracies are spread on purpose for misdirection and to make all conspiracy theories look silly. The PSYOP idea is very real. I mean, we knew they were that even back in the 40s. We had ideas like this to doing false flags and stuff like that. So, yeah, I totally agree. A lot of quote unquote conspiracy theories that seem like they're coming from like these independent individuals are actually huge AstroTurf campaigns.
Companies is a technology that was found here that we've reverse engineered.
USA, go baby, your channel sucks. Thank you, Robert. We very much appreciate that, man. So you wanted 2 bags of onion rings and a large soda? That's right, Robert. Oh, my bad. You wanted the number 6 deluxe with an extra side of onion rings and a large soda. Got you. Thank you, man. Just pull up and we'll get you helped out, man.
Questions that get asked. Okay.
Thank you.
I have sat with, multiple people from the military, former pilots, former folks, high-ranking individuals in our military, and I will tell you, they have witnessed this stuff firsthand, Brian. And these are not the folks that 10, 15, 20 years ago were in the Winnebago saying I was taken up in the ship.
Yeah.
These are decorated military people.
Okay, but I have a question. Is Epstein really dude, it seems like this man was responsible for every bad thing that has happened. Okay? Microtransactions in video games? Epstein. QAnon? Epstein. Like, what the fuck? Why was this guy so dedicated to being the most evil motherfucker possible? Like, couldn't he have had any other hobby? Like, you hear it and it's like, oh, he felt like being fucking evil and torturing fucking 3 women that day. Who wakes up and does that, dude? It's insane.
With stellar records. These are folks from some of the best, universities, some of our best, military education institutions. These are reputable people who said, I saw it. It defied gravity. It didn't move in ways that we can possibly understand. We have physicists that we've interviewed that have been involved. So this has taken on
It's that Vril energy, guys. Straight up. They got that Vril energy. They straight up got that Vril energy, dude. So lucky. Well, 4chan 1 makes sense, because QAnon would make sense if you're trying to make a pedo ring conspiracy seem silly. Very true. Yeah, the Epstein files are far from over. I still think there's going to be a character that comes forward that we don't know about yet, that is going to shine a huge light on all of this stuff, but it hasn't happened yet, and I thought it would happen at this point. But now that there is people being held accountable, maybe we will see more people start to speak out.
Totally different face. This movement has taken on a totally different face than 20 or 30 years ago, when it would be someone who said, you know, aliens touched me and now I live in a van down by the river.
Right. So from the beginning of your response there, it sounded like
Poor guy. I've seen a lot of men like that.
this is that it's really focused more on like military technology, because you said you don't know if these UAPs are ours or if there's adversaries, but
Now I'm in an undisclosed location, Brian. Now, because we're talking about this,
Yeah,
I've had to
don't-
go to an undisclosed location.
That's fair. That's fair. But the second part of your answer made it sound otherworldly, and so, you know, what are we talking about here? Is there some consensus even among the international community that
Yeah, fuck, I would love to live by the river. That sounds
of
nice.
these UAPs that folks have seen don't belong to some foreign military?
Yeah,
but
there's evidence that the Russians, the Chinese, and the Americans all have crash retrieval programs. Okay, there's documents that go back decades and decades and decades that those three countries have crash retrieval programs. And in fact, again, David Grush, right? He's one of the folks that talked about these crash retrieval programs. And then I got to meet all the people who were involved with that movie Disclosure that just came out. And I will tell you again, decorated folks. These are legitimate folks. And
See, now when you have congressmen talking about it and you have military experts, my question is, what would be like? I don't think the U.S. government is hiding, like in real life, like non-memeing. I don't think the U.S. government is hiding alien bodies from us. But on the memeing side, we all know about the infamous deal that J. Edgar Hoover signed with the Greys, right? You guys all know about that, right? The deal where J. Edgar Hoover sold our souls, sold our very livelihoods to the Greys and the reptilians. You know about that, don't you? When the leader of the free world traded into tyranny? Yeah. We all know about that infamous date. I'm sure I don't even need to tell you.
they've been involved, been in the room. Some of them can't talk about it because they had to sign, non-disclosure.
All right. You guys, it seems like you got, okay. If you're going to challenge my conspiracy beliefs, if you haven't studied this document, oh, fuck. Oops. If you haven't studied this document, don't even come up. Don't even try. Okay? Don't you even try. If you don't know about Bibliotheca Pleiades, then I've got some bad news for you, friends. I've got some bad news for you. You obviously haven't been enlightened to the world and what's actually going on. And I understand. They've lied to you. They have absolutely lied to you about the origins of humanity. The origins of how this great experiment started. They've been lying to you. Oh, it's now in Italian. Nice. That's funny. It was not in Italian last time I checked. People in Italy using Bibliotheca Pleiades? Hell yeah, man. All right, but you know what? You know what? All in time. All in time. All I'm saying is if you don't know about, if you at least haven't read the entirety of Bibliotheca Pleiades, are you really even prepared to talk to an enlightened individual like myself?
Agreements. And in fact, in one of the hearings, one of the pilots talked to us about how he had to sign a non-disclosure agreement. So I don't know how far it goes, right? Some people say they've seen biologics. I don't know that I'm there with that, right? That's like one of those, like, I need to see it to believe it sort of things.
Yeah.
But on the UAP thing, there's definitely more that the United States government is telling us. And the way it's getting paid for, right, is if you look at the Pentagon, who hadn't passed an audit in forever, right, and how things cost an exorbitant amount of money in government procurement, what folks that have looked at this is saying is that they're overcharging for certain programs and misappropriating.
I can see the argument if we weren't talking about aliens, though. Because, you know, if I want to experiment on an alien spacecraft, I can understand a hammer. You know, it's got to be an expensive hammer, probably, to buff out dents and screw bolts, stuff like that. So this is the one side of government procurement I'm totally fine with. I'm going to be honest. If it is about finding aliens, dude, you don't even have to tell me about it. After reading files, I can only imagine what they did to those alien bodies if true. Ugh. Well, I imagine. That's a good question. What would we do?
Appropriating those funds, because Congress isn't funding this with our knowledge, obviously,
right?
But they're moving money around. Remember when we killed Osama bin Laden? We had helicopters that came out of Area 51. These were stealth helicopters that came out of Area 51. This is 11 years ago or so ago, maybe longer now, to go kill Osama bin Laden. Nobody knew about these stealth helicopters. We didn't fund it. It wasn't a weapons program that was well known. And it came out of Area 51, by the way, because that's where our AT programs come out of, our advanced tech programs come out of it. And the only reason we know about this, Brian, is because one of the helicopters crashed.
Coincidence?
And that's why we know that these helicopters.
Yeah, it was unfortunately not
so
for
definitely
science.
Government programs
when it comes to Trump and Epstein.
So the only branch then that would have any insight into any of this would be the executive branch, because clearly, as a member of Congress, if sitting on the committee that you do sit on, if anybody would have some information, presumably it would be you and your colleagues who sit on that committee. But you guys have no insight into any of this stuff either.
No, they've kept it from us, and when we've asked questions, they've tried to stop us. When we've tried to put language into bills about disclosure, there are people from government come down and go to the HPSCI committee, right? You know, and go to armed services and try to stop that stuff. So, you know, and that was the thing that we found most interesting on the oversight committee, which is if there's nothing there, why are people from the government trying to stop the language? Why did Harry Reid have such a hard time to get language in? Why did Chuck Schumer have such a hard time to get language in?
Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Exactly. Why is it so hard, huh? Why is it so hard for me to get into Area 51? I mean, I feel like if there's aliens in there, they'll just be chill with them. No reason to keep me out of Area 51.
Why did Marco Rubio have such a hard time? If there's nothing there, if it's all fake, if it doesn't exist, why are people in the government trying to stop it from coming out?
And so, last question.
Because, as a matter of fact, it's actually not aliens. We actually have people living underground. There are mole men. They're mole men. They're not aliens. The threat is underneath us, not from outside. Hey, what's up, T. Cruz? Good to see you. Did they try Naruto running? Oh, yeah, good point. Remember that? The Area 51 storming? You know, everybody wants to talk about January 6th. What about... When was that? I don't know. What about that? Talk about a travesty on our nation's pride. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps it up for the alien updates, although very interesting. What a freaking joke. 2 freaking people. Maybe you should take a hit, but you won't. Go get some fresh air. Robert, I actually have more than 2 people watching. I actually have 8 people watching on my end. That's what it's saying for me. So why don't you stop being jealous and get your own YouTube channel? Anyways, that wraps it up for the alien update. Now just remember, at some point we will read over Bibliotheca Pleiades. That sounds like a fun time. He kind of likes you? Yeah, I think he likes me, and that's okay. That's okay, Robert. I'm not interested, but I give you well wishes. You Democrats are crazy. Mole men? Yeah, mole men, dude. There's fucking mole men under us. Can you believe that? There was a war between human and mole. Or mole man, I should say. All the way back in the before times. And we drove them under earth. Into the hollow earth. Where the giants of Agartha live. And the mole men trained with the giants of Agartha. And now, unfortunately, it seems like the mole men are going to invade here in a couple years. So that's what we should be preparing for. You guys are wondering what the militaries are building up so much strength right now. It's not to fight each other. It's because the mole men are coming back. That would actually be good for, the species. We have an outside threat like the mole men. We unify and fight the mole men, and we come back. A unified species. I'm joking, by the way. There are no mole men inside of the Earth's crust. There'd be far too much pressure. Anyways, let's continue. This is just some more Epstein-related news. Apparently, Trump is still telling Americans to move on, which is okay. Thank you so much for that, Donald.
The administration.
Anyways, let's hear what they have to say.
So many issues facing the president. Some he might prefer not to talk about. You guessed it, Jeffrey Epstein. The nightcap is still here, so let's talk about it. Okay, it has now been 3 weeks since
I think Trump is just gonna declare random people as lizards people and do even more clown time version of McCarthyism. Well, maybe, honestly. I mean, he doesn't have to do that. All he has to do is say they're woke, and it's instantly like, oh, well, looks like we got to get rid of that. But Trump is on his last legs. Unfortunately, I think the Lemurians and the Greys, as well as the reptilians and the Draconians, have all conspired to kill our poor dear leader, Donald Trump.
million pages that were extraordinarily
I'm memeing, by the way, lady. I do not believe any of this, okay? I just want to make that clear. Because you will see some crazy people on YouTube Shorts Live, so I just want to make that clear. I do not believe there are lizard people in disguise in our towns.
difficult to even sift through have been released. They're not going away. And more stories are only coming out day by day as we're decoding all of these emails. Where's this thing headed? Because you bet your bottom dollar there are going to be Epstein victims at that State of the Union on Tuesday night.
I don't think it's going anywhere, and I don't think
got
it's going
rattles
anywhere anytime
now.
soon. I know Jim speaks to a lot of the survivors and a lot of the folks involved in this, and it seems to me that this is one that it's going to be very, very difficult for the president personally and the administration generally to ever crawl out from under. I mean, when you have someone like a Sean Ryan, who has a very popular podcast that appeals to that sort of bro class, and he is on Twitter every day saying, how can we be the people that protect pedophiles? How can that be who we are?
You know what? And I'm for the Republicans that are actually standing on business with these files, the very few and far between, and are actually calling balls and strikes. That's fucking impressive, and they should be proud of themselves. I totally disagree with like all of their policy positions, but I don't want to fight that. But I think that at least shows they have a little bit of spine. And that's what the Republican Party desperately needs. They need a spine, dude. They really do. If the Republican Party had a spine, they would be such a better functioning party. There would be so many great, well, not great, but there would at least be opposition instead of just active hostility. Libtards have ruined the Democratic Party. Well, historically, the Democratic Party has always been a liberal party, so I don't know how exactly what you mean there. I don't know how you can ruin something you started.
When you have Massey out there, now look. Thomas
Yeah, it's
Massey
sad
is
how
a
many
pretty
people
cuckoo. I'm
fall
not gonna
below
get
that
invited to his
low
house
bar.
anytime soon, but
Amen.
when he's the one out there and you're just chipping away at the base of MAGA. Remember that Epstein was foundational to MAGA. He was a part of it. Trump was going to peel the onion back and make sure everybody who was involved was going to get what was coming to. And now what can you say? He's just like the rest of them.
Yeah. I mean, I call it Epstein Gate on my show, and it is. It deserves a gate. This is a cover-up. This is a government cover-up, and it's been going on since last July when Pam Bondi and Kash Patel said nothing to see here, and they tried to sweep it under the rug. And think of what would have happened if we had
Don't
just
you dare
left
say
it
a
at that.
thing.
Think about all of the consequences that we would not have seen had it not been for the bravery of these.
Oh, BS. BS. Do you know what a liberal is? Danny, do you know what liberalism is? The ideas and philosophies and all that? That's what I'm referring to. Now, if you're talking about this recent wave of progressive liberalism, that I would say definitely started in the 90s and, well, even before the 90s, there were definitely hints and different movements, but this wave of progressive liberalism definitely started in the 90s. Men who can get pregnant. Isn't it sad that all they can talk about is genitalia? I mean, for real, that's what this comes down to. Yes, a trans man, if they if they are biologically female, can have a child. I know, hard to believe. Hard to believe there. Yeah, men can get pregnant, dumbest argument. I agree, but I'll even engage with it. Fuck it, that's what they want. Let me give them a little red meat. I don't think the progressive movement really hit till Sanders almost won the president nomination. Well, I'd say that was definitely a climatic point, but I'd say this wave of progressivism has roots in the 90s, you know? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let me continue on.
Survivors.
Y'all hate every day, and it's nonstop fake outrage. What are you talking about? Fake outrage? What's the fake outrage here? Are you not upset about the Epstein file investigations? I mean, I'm kind of upset that my DOJ is not investigating these pedophiles. I mean, well, I did vote for a different administration. I would hope this administration at least carries the will of the people. And this is like a 90-10. Shit, it may even be 100 issue. I think progressive view's expanding still. Yeah, same here. Same here. I think it's more, it's constantly evolving, much like many movements, but it's constantly introducing new ideas and seeing what works. I'm a big fan of this wave. More upset about fraud. Well, you should be happy about Biden's administration then, because Biden and Tim Walz together caught about, I believe it was 90 people that were committing fraud. Donald Trump hasn't done anything about fraud. As a matter of fact, he cut agencies like the IRS that were supposed to tackle fraud. So, if you're upset about fraud, then you should be pissed off at Donald J. Trump.
We've seen push this issue to the forefront. And
By
it's
the way,
gotten
if
to
you
the
guys
point
are
now
enjoying
where
the stream,
I think
please don't
starting
forget to
see some
like and
consequences, and
subscribe. It really
it's
helps
long
out the
overdue.
channel. By the way,
We
good to see you,
seeing,
Steph.
Former Prince Andrew getting hauled into the authorities.
Where is the fraud? Well, they're going to point to Nick Shirley's video. Look, Nick obviously pointed out, look at all that fraud that he pointed out that didn't get investigated at all. Look at all that fraud. That's fraud right there, guys. Biden wasn't even coherent, and your president is? I mean, he's my president too, but Donald Trump is coherent? One of the latest international meetings, he was confusing Greenland and Iceland. He literally shits his pants, man. He shits his pants so bad that it's audible. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'd rather have one of my presidents stumble on his words here and there than mistake countries for other countries and shit his pants. But that's just me. That's just me. Yeah, Danny is a bot, unfortunately.
I mean, Steph, not to go back to, you know, some bad euphemisms and so on, but
You need to tell Russia to send some better, Danny. Danny, you need to tell Russia to send better ones. My household is better off with this administration? No, it's not. What are you talking about? Is your family... So I'm assuming you have Democrats in your family. Do they enjoy the constant divisive language? Or do they not matter?
It is time for us to get over this notion that we can't prosecute and jail presidents in this country. And I think that the facts need to be followed wherever they lead. And if the facts lead to Donald Trump having some sort of culpability or criminal behavior on his part as it relates to the Epstein files.
That's a pretty good Trump impersonation. Thank you. I appreciate that. I've tried. You know, I've grown up with the man, so... Unfortunately, I've picked... Well, not unfortunately. But I have picked up his cadence a little bit. Oh my god. What, we got 3 of them now? Or 2 of them? My bad. Alright, I'm gonna try to use this this life drain, see what that does.
We have to let the chips fall where they may.
Catherine? when I go, and I've been going through the files,
Which is
and
really hard
it's
to
hard
do.
to
For
do.
people watching at home, just saying, let me know what's in it. Cumbersome is a gross understatement.
And I'll look for one name, and then I'm shocked. I'll find an email of someone actually I know professionally, and I'm like, and I look and I say, Jeffrey Epstein knew who he was? And I'm not saying that they did anything illegal, but it's shocking. And there is an Epstein class, and what I mean
Or
by
did they
that,
mean Trump
do
thirst
all wealthy and powerful
impersonation?
people know each other? It's like, Naomi Campbell, supermodel, black supermodel from...
Thumbs are too big for keys. Understandable. I understand. Listen, guys, I do want to make it clear, like, because I feel like I don't say it enough. So I don't hate Trump supporters. I know a lot of people do, and that's, I understand for being upset. Hey, just got back from celebrations, got a 90%. Fuck yeah. But if you don't know, Bill had a huge test, and he fucking got a 90%, ladies and gentlemen. But that's super sick. Congratulations, man. But as I was saying, I don't hate Trump supporters. I just think that they, unfortunately, got sold a false bill of goods. And it pisses me off my fellow Americans got taken advantage of. So, for any Trump supporters out there that see this, I don't hate you guys. I just think that you guys got sold a false bill of goods. And I know it's hard to admit when you were wrong. But as more and more stuff about Trump and his Epstein ties comes out, I do think it becomes harder and harder to defend the DJT.
She's in the files, again, not doing anything illegal, but there's something in criminal law called conscious avoidance, where you deliberately avoid something that's right in your face. And so the CEO who testified the other day,
Les Wexner, yeah.
Les Wexner, who, can I just ask, how come when he gets deposed, they all fly to Ohio to his mansion on our taxpayer dollars? Why doesn't he have to go to Washington?
They'll argue that he's 88 and he couldn't. He was under the weather.
Let's be clear, he wasn't flying Southwest.
Yeah.
Hold on. This is what I want my tax dollars to be used for. What? Hold on. How many 40-year-olds we got in the chat? I'm sure we got a couple. My standard viewing range is about 65 plus. It's about 65 plus. That's like 40% of my audience. Although we are shifting more towards a younger audience as my name gets out there more and more people start to know who I am. I'm going to try to set up some debates on Wick or Tom's panel here soon. So look out for that. And then for those who missed it, I will be having a donation goal for a new computer. I feel like if I was able to multi-stream, I'd get a wider audience, and I'd also be able to do a lot more with my time. Excuse me?
That too. But, I didn't know. But this wasn't like a
I
fleeting...
usually avoid conversations with liberals since they can get extremely mean in conversation and result in put downs. Well, I won't lie. Sometimes I am a little bit of the meanie head. I'll not mean, but I'll be joking around sometime. But if I'm having a serious conversation, I try to engage that person, and I try to portray how I perceive the world and why I think and why I have my worldview, But I know, I understand it's a politically charged time, but never let that or anything else stop you from talking to people and hearing people's stories, Shutting the world off is not healthy. It's not good for you. It makes you out of touch and makes you cold. Talk to as many people as you can, because you never know who might have an interesting story or opportunity waiting for you.
Business arrangement. So this was deliberately avoiding something was right in your face. And that's what a lot of these people who were in the Epstein world, legitimate people, the Larry Sumners, the Brad Karp, who he may no longer be chair of Paul Weiss, but he's still employed
works there.
Yeah. He still works there.
What about all these administration officials? I mean,
Yes.
Lutnick lying about, not having that many contacts with
And then took
Jeffrey
his
Epstein,
kids
but
to
he
the
had taken
island.
his family, his own
Yeah, but
children
again,
and the
we
nannies.
don't know that he did anything
don't know.
wrong.
No, of
but it was
course
so
not.
They're in his
unnecessary to
world.
go on a podcast 6 months ago and straight up lie about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lutnick? Yeah, dude. Lutnick is caught with the hand in the cookie jar, as they say. Why did he lie? That's what I ask. If he if he is innocent, why did he lie? I feel if you're arguing for rounding up people, it's just LARPing victims to cry about people being rude about it. I agree. I mean, I try to be a very kind individual, but even they can get upset about some of the things I say. So it's just pearl clutching at some points. But some people will try to engage, honestly, and I appreciate that. I feel like nowadays it is very hard to find like the Trump voter who just voted on the economy and just didn't really understand. It is much harder to find that person now. Because either A, they've just gone out of politics, or they've switched to the other side. I don't think there's anybody based in principle that is really left right now.
I find strange, and again, this is a personal anecdote, and I'm not even sure how relevant it is, other than the fact I've been in financial news for 34 years on the East Coast, 7 years on the West Coast. In the 34 years that I've been out here, and I know a lot of people who knew Jeffrey Epstein, no one ever mentioned his name to me as a financial genius and somebody I need to talk to about money and markets, which means this was so sub rosa, it was so, under the surface that there was no one willing to say, you got to go talk to this guy. Right? Because there had to be something wrong. For that not to have, I've had people recommend other people to me as sources or, guests or what have you in that space. And he was simply not one of them. And so it strikes me as odd for someone who's worth $500 million, doing Leon Black's taxes for $158 million, handling Les Wexner's multi-billion-dollar estate, and no one brought him up. It just tells me that, he was a different character.
So what does the White House do with this?
I mean, they're going to.
And what could the impact of Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying do?
Well, I mean, Bill and Hillary, they're both very good at that, right? If we remember back, was it 2008 or 2016 when they hauled her up for Benghazi, and she was just like, are you done? And she exhausted them. I think President Clinton is very, very good at these sorts of things. And I think they probably opened a Pandora's box, like, oh, wait a second, now former presidents can be called to testify. And so I'm sure that Trump would like nothing more than them to hide in New York again. But what are they going to say? I don't know what they're going to say, but here's what I know is that they are very good at what they do. These members of Congress, particularly the Republican members on this committee, are not very bright, and they're likely to be made to look stupid.
But Donald Trump should be deposed in all of this. I'm old enough to remember Bill Clinton being hauled in. Remember that?
That's a different time.
But there's a precedent for it.
Yeah,
For
that was
calling
a
the president
different time when we actually respected laws here in America. I mean, for real, why isn't Donald Trump being hauled in front of Congress? It doesn't mean he's fucking doing anything wrong, but the American people do have questions. America, one nation, unredacted.
United States.
Unfortunately,
to
not
sit
not
down for a
yet.
deposition.
We're
And
waiting.
It seems to me there's plenty of evidence in these files to warrant the same thing to be done with Donald Trump. And I think this all goes back to these survivors. We were talking with one of the survivors back in the green room. I've talked to them on my show. They are desperate to be taken seriously, and they deserve accountability. They deserve justice.
But what
And
is
why are we?
What she
What's
had to
wrong with
say-
us as a country?
Look, I don't know if it was a privileged conversation that we had with her or not. You know, it wasn't exactly on the record, but it wasn't exactly off the record. What she had to say was deeply disturbing. And
Whoa.
Do you have a daughter and you heard what this young woman said?
Yeah.
The blood would drain out of your face.
And she, to a certain extent, implicated at least one or two extremely prominent people as part of the network. So, you know.
But Ron, I know we have to go to commercial, but on
Whoa.
one hand, the eat the
Yeah, Ron, why are you dropping this fucking bomb right now? Damn. The look on these people's faces when they said that was interesting. Wait, BTC did a debate on a MAGA show recently. Haven't you seen it? I haven't. No, I haven't either. You are okay with Dems destroying the country for the last 16 years, but need DJT to fix it. Well, the Dems haven't destroyed the country, my friend. What destroying the country? Are you talking about Biden's bull run of the stock market? Is that what you're talking about? Are you talking about... What are you talking about, man? Our country has been kicking ass, as it always does, because America will typically always kick some ass, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I got the video. Sorry, I just had to bring up a link my good friend Bill sent me. Pop out and show it to them. Let's look at these updates real quick, though. See if we've got anything new happening. Let's take a look here. Nothing. No, it doesn't look like there is anything new going on right now in that news story. Let me check the any more AP stories. The U.S. deported a gay asylum seeker to a third world country where homosexuality is illegal. Wow, isn't that beautiful? Isn't that sweet? What a nice administration. Right, guys? All right, let's finish this panel and then we'll watch the BTC
Last
debate.
week, we saw an unprovoked attack.
News Nation, let's go, dude. Oh, I clicked out of the MS Now article. God damn it. Or MS Now YouTube link. You know, that happens sometimes, ladies and gentlemen. Why do I have a post about a new dinosaur species? Well, I think we basically got the gist of it. All right, let's watch this this piece just put out by BTC. It looks like he put it out almost right as we started streaming. And see him own this MAGA host on her own show. Let's go.
On a mother and an
Brian Tyler Cohen, go give him a like, give him a sub if you haven't already. He is incredibly handsome, incredibly smart. And some say he has very big hands. What does that mean? I'll leave that up to interpretation, but let's begin.
peaceful protests, leaving her covered in bruises. She was outside of a school and attacked by kids who were not in school.
Very muscular
Why
as well.
is the left radicalizing these students to not only leave school, where the country has a 54...
Oh, just look at the chat. Dude, how he is literally the Chad meme. I mean, what God blessed this man's bloodline? That's what I'm wondering. What God blessed this man's bloodline? Because I need to start praising that thing. I would hit on Brian Tyler Cohen. Oh, Fish and Charlie, don't you sit here and act like this man is not a goddamn hunk of meat, okay? Don't sit here and tell me you would not be googly-eyed at this man. I don't even like male-presenting individuals, but come on. I mean, the jaw, the beard... Your God is Grinder? Unfortunately, it is not. Grinder's such a weird app, bro. It's so weird. Anyways.
percent rate of not being able to read in order to go out and then attack people who are
Still got this
just
naked
asking
man
them
following
to calm
me.
down.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree that literacy scores in this country are pretty dismal. And in fact, the lowest literacy scores in this country are in red states run by Republican governors and Republican
That's actually not
legislatures.
true.
So I definitely think that's a big problem to consider. I mean, if you look at places like Oklahoma, for example, if you look at places like Arkansas, I mean, these are, Mississippi, Louisiana, these have the lowest test scores in the country. But that, I'm assuming that's not what you want to speak about.
I'd be happy to
regard
talk about Mississippi. It's actually much better than the majority of the blue states in this country in terms of education.
I don't think
it's
that you
actually
want
a great story about education, but that's not about ICE, which is what we're talking about now.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't think you really want to have an argument about the test scores in red states versus blue states. But
I'd be happy to have you back.
Amen. Let's
But
go.
Leaving school.
Hey, this is a good point. Something that Kansas really does need right now, we have those small town teachers that are going to teach regardless of the budget, regardless of anything, because that's just what they love to do. But if we really reinvigorated, where'd my friend go? Oh, well, the homeless naked man stopped following me. Let's go. Let's go.
To go and protest ICE when they can't read, write, or do arithmetic.
Look.
But as I was saying, teachers here are going to do the job pretty much regardless. But I think incentivizing more teachers with I think incentivizing more teachers would be so beneficial because we have the basis, but we have the core. Now we need to expand. If that makes sense.
I think that we have a very important First Amendment right in this country, and if kids want to use what platform they have to step out of school to protest the overreach of a tyrannical government and a lawless rogue agency, then I support their ability to do that. Again, look, you're going to find individuals who are going to be violent, and you're never going to see me defend anybody who brings violence into the situation. So I'm not going to defend that. And certainly, there are people everywhere who are going to resort to violence, and I think you and I can both agree that that's not acceptable.
I would agree,
regardless
with that.
regardless of where it happens.
Yeah.
But if in terms of kids walking out of school, I'm completely I think civics in this country is obviously very important, and if kids are going to be paying attention to politics, paying attention to what's happening in their country, I think that more power to them if they can walk out. I think if athletes at the Olympics have something to say and use that platform, more power to them. The more people that can speak up. I mean, I am not of this mind that had gained a lot of traction in Republican circles where athletes are just supposed to shut up and dribble. We have a long, proud history in this country of people like athletes, for example, standing up at the Olympics, going back decades and decades and decades.
Yeah, well, it's good that they live in a country where they have those rights. That is true. It's good they live in a country where they have those rights.
And I think one of the most important rights is not to succumb to a tyrannical government. And in fact, that's something that you've been saying for years and years and years. I'm looking at a tweet from 2013. Anybody who believes the United States can never be a tyrannical state has their heads in the sand. So that issue used to be important to you, and yet now you have a rogue agency killing people with impunity. We're not going to see any justice for Renee Good. We gotta take
a second and take a step back. Okay, first of all, Renee Good
Hey,
arguably tried to run over an ICE officer.
You know what? I liked that. Biden has done more damage? What are you talking about? What damage did Biden do? If you're saying immigration, then are you going to fault the guy for having such low unemployment numbers that we needed this workforce? Our companies were begging us to let these people into our country.
With her car. So you say that you're not for violence. There's lots of video showing that
we
almost ran
we know what it looks
him
like
over.
when somebody turns the steering wheel to the right.
In terms of the issue of tyranny, you brought this up last time you were on the show, so I'm happy to bring it up again.
What about Alex Preddy?
Well, there's Alex Preddy was at a protest 2 weeks prior, ICE, and got violent with the officers, kicked out a tailgate, then went to another one. But let's get back to the point.
So kicking a tailgate 11 days prior is justification to kill somebody?
Okay, there's an ongoing investigation. The point is, if law enforcement would have done its job by arresting him and enforcing the law, he wouldn't have been at the second protest where he was trying to get in the middle of a federal investigation, which is a bad idea. Not to mention that officials, including the lieutenant governor in Minnesota, were telling people to go out and put their bodies on the line to commit felonies by getting in the middle of federal investigations, which is a terrible idea.
By ICE agents. We all saw the video of Alex Preddy
being approached by ICE agents. We also saw the video of him weeks prior agitating and getting violent with ICE agents, which you just said that you're against violence.
Kicking somebody's car is not justification to be
Getting involved in the middle of a federal investigation is a felony, okay?
Do you think kicking someone's car
It's so frustrating. These people, like, they've just abandoned what they used to believe in. And you know what? As a liberal, I see an opportunity here, and I will take it. Because I have always been for things like gun rights, freedom of speech, all of that. And so, protesting, all of that. So, if they're against that, we'll gladly take it up. We've been holding the line ever since, forever. But now that they want to abandon it, sure, we'll take it up. Thank you, MAGA. God, the Republican Party, what is the progression after this? Where does it go after this? I don't know if it survives. I'm trying to think, like, how would it survive? And I can't think of it.
Democrats telling children to leave school when they cannot read or do math, which is going to be detrimental for their future, telling them to leave school to go protest ICE with no end in sight.
Trump also defunded the CDC.
Oh, that's good. And Alex Preddy is not a good way to change things in Washington.
That was my latest appearance on Katie Pavlich's show on News Nation, where she attempted to steamroll me into accepting quite a few false premises. The first is this little dig with this idea that 54% of the country has a, quote, rate of not being able to read, otherwise known as an illiteracy rate, if you were looking for her to prove her point. First off, the United States does not have a 54% illiteracy rate. It has a roughly 19% illiteracy rate. But in fairness, I'll grant her the point that too many kids in this country...
Yeah, but that is still, in my opinion, way too high. That should be in the single digits, in my opinion. That's actually way, I said at first, oh, that's not bad. No, that's pretty bad, actually. It's not the 54 she was saying. But the reason, and you're not going to get literacy rates to rise until, you fund education. The free market will not solve for illiteracy rates. I'm sorry. They just won't.
Comprehension. Education is woefully underfunded in the United States, and it's attacked here. Like, for example,
Democrats. Yeah. I'm a Democrat. Proud of it, too. Midwestern blue wave coming around here, folks. You just wait. So excited for the midterms. You guys have no idea.
Donald Trump, the current Republican president, dismantled the Department of Education, or when his administration illegally withheld nearly $7 billion in federal education funding in July 2025, including money for after-school programs, English language learners, and teacher training. Or when the administration rescinded $2.5 billion in American Rescue Plan elementary and secondary school emergency relief funds that had already been authorized by Congress.
I still think the tariffs don't affect them.
Terminated $106 million in
well, not even the Supreme Court agrees with them, so...
citing an arbitrary deadline. This included funds for mental health services, tutoring, school security, and HVAC upgrades, projects that were already underway. Or when the administration threatened to withhold federal funds from schools that continue DEI initiatives, including those supporting LGBT students and students with disabilities.
Oh, wow.
In total, the White House's attacks on education by Trump have terminated 730 in-progress grants, collectively worth more than $2 billion, and approximately 100 grant programs from other federal agencies where cuts and cancellations affected K-12 initiatives. So if Katie is looking for the culprit as to why kids can't read, she might want to check with the guy in the White House who seems hellbent on ensuring that kids can't read. In fact, Republicans have made their dismissal of education a cornerstone of their governing strategies. And the consequences of that divestment is abundantly clear, as I mentioned on air. But let's dig into the specifics. According to the latest National Assessment of Educational Progress, or
although I support tariffs to support and encourage domestic manufacturing and trade, I don't like how it's being used right now. And I'm the same here, Godzilla. Like, I think if we want to incentivize like our auto manufacturing sector, then yeah, put some tariffs on so that make it harder to buy automobiles from certain nations that are very well equipped to manufacture automobiles, you know, and so you can incentivize your sector, your own private sector, to make it. That, you know, that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is just unilaterally putting up, I equate it to a trade wall. It is literally a trade wall. It is a giant wall that you have to pay an exorbitant amount to go around. It makes no sense either. America's always been this free trade loving nation, you know? Free trade is great, dude. Now, obviously, regulations on some aspects, like I don't think you should be selling people, and you should be sourcing your stuff ethically, but besides that, I'm a big free trade advocate. So I understand tariffs in a designated and targeted way can work. The U.S. auto industry is so bloated, they need that European and Chinese competition to get back to normal, honestly. I mean, that's another good that's a good argument against targeted tariffs. You know what I mean? I think you have to look at the conditions of your companies, and as a nation, you have to make that decision. In cooperation with the companies. Unfortunately, Trump is not doing that. I feel like we are making ourselves exposed to rely on foreign manufacturing because we can be crippled at any time if we get into a conflict. To an extent, yes, but that also is the same for these other countries. You know, America provides a lot of services for the world, and getting rid of those services could be very detrimental for a lot of nations. And you know, I think the world is interlinked. We're going to be interlinked for the rest of our lives. There is no going back. And I don't think we'd want to go back. I don't think we want to live in a world where everything is made by one nation. Just like humans, you know, nations act similarly, where a diversity of nations in the creation of an item makes it better, not worse. You know, I think this war posturing is real bullshit. And my secret conspiracy theory is that I know isn't true, but that I wish was true, is that they are all actually gearing up for an alien invasion, and they want to just be under the guise, oh, we're about to fight each other, when really we're about to be invaded by aliens. That would be nice, but a lot of stuff would have to happen for that. That's too big of a conspiracy. You know what I mean?
For NAEP scores, the top 5 states are all blue states: Massachusetts, New Jersey, Colorado, New Hampshire, Connecticut. No surprises there. The bottom states, other than Delaware and New Mexico, the bottom 10 states are all red and include Alaska, West Virginia, Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, Florida, Mississippi, and South Carolina. So
let's go. Kansas isn't on there. Kansas isn't on there. Oh, no mass recruitment. Yeah, unfortunately, that does kind of poke a hole in the alien theory. A man can dream, can't he?
Love to have that conversation.
Dude, just think about it. We need to get invaded by aliens. I'm just going to say it right now. I am an advocate for an alien invasion. I think we'd kick their ass, dude. I think we would kick an alien's ass. Well, it depends. If it's like, are they able to fold reality in on itself? Are they able to, like, convert 3-dimensional beings into 2-dimensional beings? If they can do that, then maybe not. Maybe, I don't know if we're quite ready to fight. I don't know if we'd quite be ready to fight the aliens. What if maybe the aliens are better leaders? Nah. That's us, dog. I'm a humanist. I'm sorry, man. You guys wonder, you know, you guys may wonder, oh, it's so, you know, he loves equality and all that. Of course I do, amongst humanity. But those fucking those space scumbags are gonna get what's coming to them. They want to touch our planet. Oh, no, sir. The Greys are catching these hands. We need to be invaded by aliens. I agree, man. I actually, if you guys know who Aleister Crowley is, he had a very interesting idea where he wanted to be the most evil person in the world, so the entire world would unite against him, and therefore ushering in a new age of cooperation. Unfortunately, Aleister Crowley was too badass and actually served as an informant during World War II. So, kind of sick. Or was it World War I? He was a friend of the Allies.
That she
pretty
promised
badass,
to discuss
honestly.
educational
He lived a crazy life, dude. Anyways, you can get stuck on, if you guys ever want to go down a good rabbit hole, look up the life of Aleister Crowley.
Disparities in red states.
Maybe we can take note on how they govern at least. Well, it depends. What's their intelligence type? Are they a hive mind? If they're a hive mind, they can catch the barrel of this bolter. You know what I mean? This is literally the plot of Watchmen. Hey, the plot of Watchmen involves Dulce Air Base, doesn't it? That's one of my favorite conspiracy theories. You guys know about Dulce? What you guys know about Dulce Air Base?
Versus blue states, something tells me I'm not going to get invited back for that one. But then we get into violations as it relates to ICE. And what struck me about her posture here is that way back in a past life, in 2013, Katie Pavlich actually tweeted, "Anyone who believes that the United States can never be a tyrannical state has their head in the sand." And yet, it's a shame that Katie Pavlich can't meet this Katie Pavlich, because this Katie Pavlich is now on television explaining why a rogue secret police force is allowed to murder people with impunity. I feel like perhaps this was exactly the type of tyranny that she and all her Republican friends were talking about all these years ago, but apparently they were only upset about the prospect of tyranny happening if it wasn't at the hands of their own political party. And of course, you'll notice how she wanted to breeze right by Alex.
Do we take notes from naked mole rat colonies? I mean, I don't know. Does YT automatically block someone if you report them so you can't see their chat anymore? I don't actually know. I don't think so. I think you should. Well, unless unless you have hidden them from your account, but maybe reporting automatically does that. Damp worm? What the fuck did this dog give me? Damp worm? What the fuck is that? Ew, bro. What the hell is damp worm? Ew.
Preddy when I asked about
I have a huge fear of
and that's because there is no way to justify or
worms,
defend what
if you guys
happened to him,
didn't know.
which is why the talking point is either that there is an ongoing investigation, which of course will amount to nothing, or that 11 days prior he kicked a taillight, which I suppose somehow justifies him being shot at point blank range 10 times, according to those small government conservatives out there. Either way, not a very compelling argument. So look, my advice here for any MAGA hosts is to spend a little less time trying to run defense for people who are failing this country and a little more time demanding more of the people in charge. I don't care what political party you're in. In America, we don't have secret police who can shoot and kill you with impunity. I don't care what political party you're in. In America, we don't condemn people for exercising their First Amendment rights. And I don't care what political party you're in. In America, we should fund and support education to protect the future of this country. My hope is that one day, allegiance to one man won't be more important than those things. But if MAGA has shown us anything, it's that that day is not coming anytime soon.
Wow, wow. Brian Tyler Cohen, let's go. Shout out to Bill for giving me that link. That is very, I think he did a good job. I think he did a very good job. Anyways, let us move on. I saw this, and I don't know if we talked about it, but sober people being arrested nationwide for DUI. This is a weird story. Take a listen, guys.
Well, we have new details tonight in our
if that is a worm, I'm not pressing on it. Oh, is it? If it's just JFK, then I'll be fine. Oh God! Oh God, it's even worse than I thought. Oh God, it's not RFK, it's an even worse worm. Oh good Lord. Get it off the screen. Get it off. Ew. Jesus Christ. I mean, ugh. You get a feeling. It's like he psychically shot some mind dampeners into your brain just now. Ugh.
sobering problem investigation. Not just here in Tennessee, but across the nation, we're finding sober people are being arrested for DUI. And a recent study questions whether field sobriety tests are always reliable.
He just seemed like he was all over the road coming out.
Just moments after being pulled over, Justin Beery had...
Bro, this man is not drunk driving. I'm sorry. Why is that Canadian on your screen? Are you talking about Nick Shirley? You talking about Shirley, bro? You talking about Nick Shirley? Well, Nick, that's the loser cam. Although here soon I do want to, you know what, I think what I'm actually going to do real quick, if you guys will give me just a quick second, I want to change the loser cam into something more engaging than just losers. I'm going to turn it into the pet, not a pet cam, but the cute animal cam. Nick Shirley has been on there for way too long anyways. Interesting. You may wonder, what was that? Well, you don't have to worry about it, fun fact. You actually don't have to worry about it. That's the best part of all of this. Oh. Let's do that one. Here, I'll have this play on the main screen while I get this ready. I mean, just look at that. Isn't it adorable? Oh, IDK about Nick. I'm pretty sure that Ted Cruz guy is from Canada. He is? Wait, Ted Cruz is, it's basically been a Nick cam for a while. Yeah. We'll be replacing it. It's not going to be a loser cam. I think what I'm going to do off stream is put some text boxes that will let people know what mode it's on. I think that'll be a good time. But just give me a minute. I may F here. I'm a little afraid I might be Fing if I, as I do this. Oh well, we'll just wait. Look at this rabbit though. It's asleep and they're waking him up with tomatoes. Now, I don't know about you, but that's just absolutely adorable. And warms the heart. I mean, he's just a silly guy, you know? Oh, look, he's waking up. His eyes. Look at his eyes. Okay, maybe not. Maybe he's already awake. No. I see them dashing. Why are we measuring it with tomatoes? It's cute though. I don't really know, but I think it's a perfect amount of silliness that we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a big chungus in no time. Exactly. That's what they're doing. I almost made a silly joke, but we're not going to make that. All right, here we go. No more Nick. I don't know if I like the coloring anymore. Kind of makes it look a little more demonic, so we might get rid of the filters there. We're going to get rid of them. Okay? We're going to get rid of the filters. Oh my goodness. Look at the guy. All right, and that will just be playing constantly for a little bit. Make sure it's on loop. And it's sped up. That's what we like to see. Anyways, and if you guys are wondering what channel that is One More Please. Go give them a like and a sub. If you guys like rabbit-related content, I guess. I like rabbits. They're cute. Anyways, let's continue on with this this story.
Had an admission to make.
You might think I'm drunk, I understand, but I've only got for like 3 hours of sleep.
After working a 14-hour shift, the Alabama man also then made a key misstatement.
Do you take any medication or anything?
I have ADD, so I do.
ADD?
I should have said autism instead of ADD. I think at the time because I just was afraid to say it.
Diagnosed with autism, Barry performed poorly on the field sobriety test. But officers with the Pelham County Police Department in Alabama also note this.
No odor of alcohol.
Any evidence of marijuana use?
Not in plain view. Just based on the results of the test, I'd say we have enough.
Whoa, that is insane, dude. Just based on the results of the test? I mean, they don't even have reasonable suspicion. If you don't smell alcohol, is all the reasonable suspicion they need to accuse you of drunk driving? Is all they need just that field sobriety test? That's insane.
Enough to arrest Barry for DUI.
This time you will be placed under arrest.
And when Barry's blood work later came back, it revealed no drugs, no alcohol in his system.
I was very angry that this could happen because my wife and I are very both pro-police, but at the same time, our son being arrested for doing nothing.
If it all...
This reminds me so much of the lawyer that Ethan interviewed. Which one? He's interviewed a couple lawyers. Are you talking about... Which one are you talking about?
Sounds familiar, it's because for the last 3 years, WSMB4 Investigates has been exposing how more than 2,500 Tennesseans have been arrested for DUI, but their blood tests later came back showing no alcohol, no drugs in their system. Barry's case shows it's happening far beyond Tennessee. Take a look. Using lawsuits, police, and news reports, WSMB4 Investigates found sober people in all these states saying they were arrested for DUI.
Hey, look at that. Kansas, yet again, not being the bad people. Feels nice. Feels nice.
Including in Hawaii. Watch Amen Fapuliai's reaction when the officer says he smells alcohol.
I do detect the odor of alcohol.
Even though he...
Holy shit. This is weird, guys. Seems like they're trying to fill quotas. This guy? Here, let me take a look. Let me put it on a screen where it won't go dark for a moment. I think the bunny cam is going to be a smashing success. I'm going to be honest. I saw Loner took some cues, don't want to say it was just me, but he's got some ADHD visuals on there too now, so we appreciate that. All right, who is the guy? Oh, I don't know if I was actually around during this time. This may have been during the relationship. Yeah, this was during the relationship era of That Guy Doesn't Exist, where I was in a very bad relationship where I didn't do anything. And I missed this, so we'll have to check it out. I'll check it out later. Thank you.
Blew 0 on a breath test, he was arrested.
I felt embarrassed. I felt profiled. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I don't drink.
Honolulu prosecutors declined to pursue the case, citing insufficient evidence. In Florida, Ali Kupalo's blood work came back showing she was completely sober when she was arrested for DUI.
What was it like when he put the handcuffs on you?
It was scary because I knew that I wasn't drunk.
And in Iowa, William Penn University football player Taven Galanakis is suing the Newton Police Department for arresting him for DUI while he was sober, even after he blew 0 on the breath test.
I blew 0, so now you're trying to think I smoke weed. That's what's going on. You can't do that, man.
Attorneys hire me to review their cases.
DUI expert witness Joshua Ott thinks he knows why this is happening. He points
guy
to a
became a
2023
recurring
study
character.
for the Journal
I'll
of
check
the
it out.
American
That does
Medical
sound funny.
Association of 184 people. Some smoked cannabis, others were given a placebo, and officers gave them all field sobriety tests. For 49.2% of the people given placebos, officers determined they failed the field sobriety test.
Wow. If that isn't kind of, I mean, that's scary. You can just be arrested for for just existing, you know? They can just determine. I don't know why this isn't getting more coverage. This is insane. The world is turning into Minority Report. Yeah. They're about to accuse you of a crime before you even commit it.
Tests. The false positive rates of sober people was really astonishing.
Ott says there is no good research showing field sobriety tests accurately show that someone is impaired.
So it becomes very problematic.
Wow, that's interesting too, because you kind of assume there's a bit of a science, right? You kind of assume there's a bit of a science behind this stuff, not just gut feelings, but if there's no research to suggest these field sobriety tests actually do any meaningful, provide any meaningful insight onto whether the person is intoxicated or not, I think we seriously need to ask if they should even be allowed to perform these field sobriety tests. I mean, if we have a breathalyzer, why not just use that?
As to how accurate or inaccurate these tests are.
So I'm going to jail tonight? After his arrest, Barry now drives with a letter from his psychiatrist in his car. It states his diagnosis means he cannot perform a field sobriety test.
That is so sad.
Because of my autism, I'm at a disadvantage. I can't help that.
Yeah, to sing the ABC backwards, let's see if I can do that. Z, Y, X, W, U. Yeah, that's it. I'd be fucked. I would be so fucked, dude. If somebody's... Okay, I'm going to be honest. You ask me to sing the ABCs backwards, I'm going to ask for another test. I'm not going to fucking sing the ABCs backwards. You think I know that? The only reason I know the ABCs forwards is because of the beats. Yeah, you can't even see the ABC the right way without the song. Exactly, dude. That's what I'm saying.
Now, I did ask for an interview with the Pelham Police Department, but their spokesman said they had no comment, but did confirm an internal investigation is underway. Now, you may have you might have your phone in your hand right now.
I can't get past XYZ backwards, right, dude? It's impossible. It's not impossible, but fuck. Like, I just tried to, and I got, let's see, W, U. Yeah, fuck that.
Investigation continues right now on the WSMP4
LMNOP.
app. You can find this interactive map. You can just click on each state, and you can read about the sober DUI case we found there.
Wow.
Lauren?
Yeah, Jeremy, thanks for your continued
That's
reporting
incredible.
on this.
I mean, this is
We have
amazing.
new detail-
We really, I really appreciate small town news reporters and investigative agencies kind of like this, because it's V before W, not U? God damn it. Well, oh well. Oh well. I know it the right way. You hear they changed? Yes, I did hear that they changed the ABCs. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. And I think it's fake news. And, this is just an obvious sign of the moral degradation of our society. That's what I swear. I saw takes where Republicans were like, this is a sign that Western culture is dying. It's like, whoa, man. I think you need to hold on there. I wonder why we speed up so fast at LMNOP. Well, I think it just rolls off the tongue really well. You know what I mean? Anyways, let me see if we got any more. This is just some cute stuff. There's a new dinosaur species that was discovered. Just some interesting news. But besides that, I don't really know if there's anything else for us to cover. This was supposed to be about peace in Gaza. Yeah, more Gaza stuff, always fun. Dan Bongino and Kash Patel make insane mistake on air. Actually, that sounds interesting. Oh, is this the woke ABCs that I've been hearing about? Oh no, this is a little article. Let's bring it up. Aide weirdly begins fifth explanation on why Trump can't pardon Prince Andrew. That poor staffer. Oh, geez. The MAGA rage coming from Trump was probably untenable. I'm gonna be honest. By the way, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Keep crying, liberals! I don't know about crying. I'm definitely mogging you, though. I'll tell you that much right now. I'll tell you that much right now. Oh, sorry guys, didn't realize I muted my cam. All right, anyways, let's watch about this new dinosaur species. I don't know, sounded interesting. And since we don't have anything else, I'll probably end the stream a little early today.
Paleontologists have made a spine-tingling find in the sands of the Sahara
A
Desert.
spine-tingling find.
Now they've unearthed
Sorry, one
fossils
moment,
of
guys.
a
I'm loading
supersized
something on my...
carnivore that lived over 95 million years ago. The team now naming it Spinosaurus mirabilis, Latin for astonishing.
Are dinosaurs fake, ladies and gentlemen? Let's have that discussion. I don't think they are. But I've seen some very prominent people, Ethan Klein, saying they don't believe in dinosaurs. Being a man and a liberal is complete failure. I feel sorry about you, bud. Trump loves you. See, listen about that, though. You're talking about Trump as if he's some kind of, literal god. I could care less if Trump loves me or not. Unfortunately, I'm not a prepubescent child, so he probably doesn't love me enough. Doesn't love me quite the same way, but I could care less. He obviously isn't helping the America that I love, so...
As many questions as answers about
But you may be right about that. Or I think you may be wrong about that. What benefit would anyone gain for lying about dinosaurs? I was joking about Ethan, but yeah, I guess money. I do think there is some validity that they were probably covered in feathers rather than purely reptiles. I do think there's validity in
by
that.
Dr. Paul Sereno, paleontologist at the University of Chicago and a National Geographic explorer. Dr. Sereno, it is a pleasure to have you. Okay, now
You're mistaken. I don't believe in a God. Well, that's okay. You have replaced it with your praise for Trump. No one gains money besides the museum from tickets. You know, I thought it was actually pretty funny. You should, if you have time, watch H3's latest conspiracy episode. It was actually pretty funny. We will have asylum back again. You want asylums back, dude? You remember there was a huge expose about those, about how people were being mistreated, and it was actually one of the biggest reasons. It was one of the biggest pushes in American journalism at the time. See, look at that. You're calling Trump your daddy. Now, personally, I'm not okay with calling a man my daddy, but I guess that's just my Dom nature coming out. But I think that's a little icky.
Expedition of the century. What made this find so special?
Well, it was.
What? Whoa. Okay, hold on. Look at the spine. Look at the horn on that thing. Can we just take a moment? Trump is a mixed pot. Good ideas. Well, the thing is, with his good ideas, it does feel like I like the idea of Trump accounts. I just am afraid that people who don't know how to invest and don't know and aren't able to take full advantage of the 5,000 per month limit just won't get the same types of returns. It's a good start, though. I am definitely not calling it. Sorry, I just totally got distracted. My bad. Oh, my bad. I'm not calling them a horrible idea, but there is there's stuff to be desired. And maybe the dinosaur wrote the early versions of the Bible and the Neanderthals did the editing. You know, maybe that might be a good point. I think you might be onto something. Remember, the book says there were giants then and thereafter. What does that mean?
It was an extraordinary expedition. Took a big chance to try and get into the heart of the Sahara by collecting together 20...
But look at the horn of that thing. I mean, whoo-wee! Look at that horn, man. That thing is dangerous.
Young people that could take 3 months of their lives off and put together a big armed guard, sort of like our Wild West, and go into the middle of nowhere in the hopes of finding something. And we were guaranteed nothing, except that we had been to the site, found a tooth and a couple of jaw fragments. And hours after we arrived, we found that what you're looking at is the crest on the top of the skull of this Spinosaur.
No, you mean the horn. That thing was obviously meant to stab
people. We didn't know if we'd find a lot more of it, but we did.
Wow.
Yeah, it was immediately apparent to us this was a new species because the crest is...
All right, Crow One, I'm sorry, man. But if you're going to celebrate the death of your fellow American, I've seen you in here a couple times, but you can, you can chill out. You can chill the fuck out, loser, idiot, dipshit.
Is like nothing we've
scumbag
seen before on any predatory dinosaur.
So tell us more about this Spinosaur. I got to know, what exactly do we know right now?
Yeah, it's become...
Here we go. The fossil, the pro-fossil narrative.
Through Jurassic Park, it's become the celebrated dinosaur because we don't have any in North America. But in other parts around the old Mediterranean Ocean, which we used to call a Tethys Ocean, these dinosaurs stalked, and now we're finding in the rivers inland stalked fish, and we were able to ferret out some of the great fish catching abilities of this animal by looking at its jaws. And it was we call it a hell heron because I think it was wading into the waters, scaring any kind of competitors away, and very much a display-oriented animal, but capable of just snatching a lot of large fish out of the riverways and the coastal region. And it's like nothing we've ever seen before. It's the size of T-Rex. It's 40 feet long.
Wow, it's huge.
Wow. That's a big dinosaur, ladies and gentlemen. That's a big dinosaur.
Now, this Spinosaur, it differs from
Did they hunt in groups?
some of the other ones you actually studied. So what sets this one apart?
Yeah, it's got a huge cock. We've never seen this size of cock on a dinosaur before, actually. We're studying it very closely, but we are absolutely astonished at the size of this thing's cock.
I'll just say, this is what they share. They share this kind of tooth.
Whoa. Are you allowed to show that?
No serrations. Looks very different than a T-Rex tooth. The original clues to this site I dug out of the library. A French monograph, you see my middle markings there, gave us a sentence or two about a tooth they found in the center of the Sahara. But then we put together the pieces of the dinosaur. As I walk behind it, it gives you a better idea of the size of this animal. Its teeth interlock, the lower ones coming outside the upper ones to snare a slippery fish. Have you ever tried to catch a fish?
Very true, the Golden Geek.
This is a fishing adaptation only this dinosaur Spinosaurus has. But this is what defines the species, the very low snout, and then this incredible crest that extends into the air with a covering, and I'm going to give you just a shot of the covering that we've reconstructed for it. That's the crest right there. Wow. It would have a covering like a live animal in keratin that would extend it a little bit further. It's about 2 feet overall. And so that gives us a couple of clues about this dinosaur, one of which is that it's a land animal. It's inhabiting...
Is that a real fossil? Seems remarkably clean. I know, I'm telling you. Who knows? What do we truly know?
The margins of oceans, the margins of riverways, it is not a diving marine Loch Ness monster, as some have proposed. This is sort of the...
What type of insults am I barfing? Grandy's garden. I'm just talking about dinosaurs right now. MAGA, can you please, for the love of God, stop getting triggered so hard? I mean, it's just embarrassing. You think these poor guys would be able to mount a better defense, but unfortunately not.
Graph for that idea. This animal I wouldn't want to be anywhere near if I was near the shore or on land. It could probably grab anything. It had unbelievable hands.
It could grab anything. That thing literally could grab... It could grab a fly right out of the air. Right out of air. Just like that one scene. You guys know what I'm talking about. They could literally just grab it out of the air. Zzz. This guy was powerful. Hating while calling someone else hateful. Very projecting. People who support pedophiles don't trigger me. Amen. Amen, American flag. Like your name, by the way. Cool name. Anyways, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there. Libby's can't debate. That's why I have so many of MAGA calling me and owning me in a debate. That's why right there.
Hands with claws, but it was primarily adapted in a way we've never seen for eating fish. And they were big fish. We're actually going to name a 12-foot superfish that we found not far from the dinosaur.
I mean, just to see the teeth as big as your palm.
I mean, look at the size of those teeth, ladies and gentlemen.
This dinosaur, yeah, how big this dinosaur really was. Now, do you think you'll find more dinosaurs in more remote regions, or do you think this is a one-off find?
No, so
Oh,
for your
no.
listeners, I mean, first of all, we're in an age of
We've hit the
discovery. We're
glitch
naming more
where
dinosaurs now than we've ever named before. So your kids and
I have
their
to
kids,
exit more
they're gonna
when
be in
that's
the
okay. I
heyday
was about to
of
head out
dinosaur
anyways.
research. But not only can I tell you we're going to find more, we are going to name a lot more from that site.
We're gonna name more dinosaurs too? Ladies and gentlemen, we're not only are we going to find more dinosaurs, we're about to name new dinosaurs. Right on the top. Grandy's Garden. Although I am about to get out of here in about 20 minutes, but or I was gonna get out now. But if you're gonna call in, oh no? Too much of a coward? Okay. That's all right, Grandy's Garden 175. Maybe someday you will be able to muster up the courage to debate somebody. I believe in you personally. I believe in you. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, there wasn't too much. Wait, hold on. Why is my... I'm not able to click on my OBS. This is so weird. Hold on. Plug it back in. There we go. Maybe? No, I'm only able to... What is going on? I'm only able to click on... This is so weird.
There are
For some reason, I'm only able to click on this on my browser screen. This is red alert. Red alert, ladies and gentlemen. We have a red alert. Oh, never mind. Now I'm good. Libby's protecting illegal alien pedos. Oh, at least I'm not protecting legal pedos that are factually known as pedos. Kalinda is starting soon. Oh, sick. Go check out Kalinda, guys. I'll send her link, or Bill, if you want to send the link, actually, since you're in the chat, send out the link and we'll raid into Kalinda. But if you guys enjoyed the stream, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel and gets me boosted out there in the algorithm. I will be live tomorrow with Rage and Resist, my flagship podcast I have with my good friends my good friends Mina and Mirutsi. We're going to have some very interesting topics to talk about there. And then the day after, I'll be having an extra long stream. So shout out. We're going to be, I think the longer streams typically get more views, get more interactions and stuff like that. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be getting out of here. I got to get ready for work. Foreign idea to a lot of MAGA. But, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me start up the, move out music. Anyways, I will see you gamers. Have a great day. Remember, you guys are absolutely badass in almost every aspect. And yeah, until next time, peace.